the election of the Albanese Labor government has seen such an incredible shift in the diversity of candidates that were elected in this amazing 47th Parliament. And I think being the youngest has definitely picked up traction, but also given young people hope that their voices will be heard and issues that are important to them will be addressed. And it feels very unreal to be here, but also I think that sense of responsibility that I carry on my shoulders to make sure that I listen to their stories, that I am approachable and they can relate to me, but at the same time, I'm that advocate and voice for them.
We know that young people are increasingly disengaged with politics. Do you think that your presence here will go some way towards changing that?
I think my presence, and I hope that my presence will be a welcoming but also beacon of hope for many out there, especially the young demographic that often see themselves, slip through the cracks when it comes to massive legislations that address all ages, except for the young people in their prime time where they're trying to make ends meet, trying to pay off a massive HECS debt, and trying to, pay their increasingly high, expensive rent, and, with all the rising cost of living, it doesn't really help. But I think I do want to be that young example that if I could do it, anyone else can do it. For those who choose to advise me about what I should wear or judge my competency based on my external experience, know that the hijab is my choice.
I'm reticent to ask you about the hijab, but you mentioned it and you raised it in your speech in the Senate earlier. Since then, it's gone global. I've seen it appear on international news sites, including Vogue Arabia. Why did you feel compelled to make the statement you did when you got up to your feet in the Senate?
I think it's unfortunate that I can't claim to be the first person who has worn a, Muslim attire inside those same chambers. Another senator pulled a stunt a few years ago, and I think it was very important for me to raise a point to say that it's not a sign of oppression. It hasn't been forced on me by any man. In fact, my dad, Allah Yarhamu, who's passed away, he had actually asked me, he was like, look, it's a big decision to put the hijab on, but once you've put it on, it's not a matter of, taking it off one day and then putting it back on. So he's like, do it when you're ready. And once you've put it on, you keep it on. And when I was ready, I was like, yeah, Dad, I really do. This is for me. And since then, I haven't even thought twice about it. I won't judge someone wearing boardies and flip-flops across the street. I don't expect people to judge me for wearing my scarf. I think it was very important to sort of acknowledge and embrace the sensationalization of the hijab, right? Address the elephant in the room, but also embrace it because, heck, this is who I am. And I want people to accept me for who I am and not sort of judge my competency or how good of a job I'm going to do as a senator because I've got a hijab on my head.
You mentioned your father. You got emotional in the Senate speaking about him and the sacrifices he's made for your family. Did you want to elaborate on the influence that he's had on you and your path to Parliament?
He's been a massive inspiration, but that day in particular was his birthday, and he would have turned 52 if he was still around. I'd like my first gratitude to be expressed to my late beloved father, whose sacrifices will never be forgotten, and who I dearly wish he was here to see how far his little daughter's come. I did not anticipate choking up and crying, but I think for what I am today and how far I've come, I really do give it to both my parents. Like, my mum's been, I know I don't mention her enough, and I think I don't do it enough justice, but she's been the rock throughout it all, and having to grieve the loss of my dad, but then also ensure that her 4 children are still around her and they're doing the best they can in life. But Dad's struggles were just, I don't know, I think as you grow older and you reflect back on those struggles, that's when you appreciate it more. Him working around the clock, doing 4 or 5 jobs, just to make ends meet, just to ensure that we had food on the table, bills were being paid, and we had a good education. From kitchen hand to security guard to taxi driver. At some point he even did Uber driving. He helped friends out at construction sites, and jack of all trades, honestly. But the sheer perseverance he showed and dedication to be the breadwinner, but also to provide for his family, was really inspiring.
Does it feel surreal now to have the title as senator? And is there anything that you fear or worry that you might have to change about your life now because of the title that you hold?
I hope not, honestly. I've told my friends, please don't call me senator. I'm still getting used to the title. When people are like, oh, Senator Payman, I'm like, me? Is that, are you talking to me? But no, I think it's beyond just a title, and I think the responsibility that comes with the role is immense, and I hope to do it justice and, represent my people of Western Australia, regardless of where they're from, what backgrounds, where in life they're at. I do hope to do a great job in representing them, but it just feels unreal to be 27 and to be doing incredible things. It's an absolute privilege, honestly. I wake up every morning and I'm like, I better stay grounded and, remember my purpose, because it's a long haul, 6 years, and I want to do the best job I can in these 6 years.
Well, thank you so much, Senator Fatima Payman, for your time.
My pleasure. Thanks, Nora.